Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to Car Musings, and I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Car Musings. How are you doing today? Has it been a good day so far? Is it early? Is it late? Well, I'm not sure where you're at, but wherever you're listening from, I hope it is going well. The world's a strange place right now, but you know what? Hang in there. It will get better. So today, I think today, I was thinking about this, and it really got me thinking because I like to reflect and evaluate people. And, I think today we're going to talk about trust. But before we get into that, the topic of trust, how's your integrity been? How are things been? You've been doing the right thing when no one else is watching. Only you will know. But you know what? Keep doing the right thing. It's the right thing to do. It's not always easy, but you got to set the example so we can influence to make the rest of the world a lot better. But you have to start somewhere, so that's all I'm going to say is keep doing the right thing. So let's get into today's topic. Well, one last thing before I go into that. Please check out themadmorgan.com. More information, shows, etc., etc. Also, more information about our podcasts, etc. So, anyways, today we're going to talk about trust. Now, trust is an interesting thing because at different stages in life, especially when we're young, we have a tendency to trust blindly. And hopefully, as we get older, we learn to be a little more realistic about it. Trust is an important thing because once it's broken, it's really hard to regain. Now, I've been very trusting in my life. Over the years, I have been very trusting. More trusting than I should be. Just like if you've been following along, I've put people on pedestals stupidly over the years and, you know, had faith in them, thought they were really awesome, etc., 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 well beyond what was deserved. But, you know, you learn things, lesson learns, right? So, one of those particular scenarios, it is what it is. But let's talk about the trust aspect of things. When it comes to trust, I find value in it. And the more and more situations I go through, I'll either trust you more or trust you less. Because you learn after you've been burned a few times that, you know, to look for the signs. Should I trust a situation? Should I trust a person? Should I trust my gut? Should you trust these things when it comes to your everyday, right? Trust your gut. I always say trust your gut. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Trusting situations, again, refer to your gut. Look at the situation, cover all the angles, look at the parties involved. And as far as trusting people goes, now this is a tricky one because some people are really smooth. Some people are slick, they're smooth, they'll fucking convince you. Like there's no tomorrow, they'll convince you. And on one hand, you sit there and you go, okay, well, there's this. And on the other hand, you're like, damn it. You know, this, but, they're showing signs that I could trust them, but they're actually doing devious shit behind your back. So you really got to be smart about that and start piecing everything together, right? You kind of have to look at, okay, so hang on for 1 second. I confided in this person here about this very limited information, and somehow this other event happens. So, how is that possible? By magic? If you only tell in confidence certain people certain things, well, it's not going to magically, you know, broadcast to the rest of the world. So at that point, you have to sit back and go, well, I've only mentioned this particular bit of information to one or two individuals, and then you have to break it down to, and yet that happened, and then this happened, and then so on and so forth, and everything else. So at that point, you have decisions you got to make. Is it a fluke or completely um, fucked you over, right? And some people might think it's not a big thing, but that just goes to the level of respect they have for you and whether or not they really value you as a person or value any sort of relationship. And once it's gone, it's gone, you know? And if people don't care, they don't care. If people don't make the effort to be in your life, they don't care. They can give you all the bullshit they want. They don't care. Actions speak louder than words. Okay? But with the trust factor, though, when somebody trusts you, when somebody confides in you, when somebody bears their soul to you, that's trust. And whether you're giving trust or receiving trust, value that because that's important. Trust is a very powerful thing. But once there's betrayal, yeah, you've just completely severed that tie. It can never be the same in any type of relationship, whether it be friends, whether it be family, whether it be romantic, whatever the case may be. Once you have severed that level of trust and you betrayed somebody, that's it. That's all. That's all she wrote. There's no more beyond that one. Like, it's just the way it is. So do yourself a favor and value that trust. And trust is a big thing. In today's world, it's very difficult because everybody's willy nilly and the moral code's a little wacky, and people don't understand what honor means and everything else. So it is a shame. It is a shame that we don't have those old values that we used to have. But not everybody is like that, right? Not everybody's like that. Some people do have a moral compass. Some people do have a moral code. Some people do know what honor means and integrity means and know what all these things mean. So, don't think it's across the board. Believe it or not, there are people that are not idiots, that are not assholes. What are you doing, buddy? Anyways, so just keep that in mind when it comes to, the bigger picture on things, right? Not everybody's going to be an asshole. Not everybody's going to be an idiot. Not everybody's going to betray you. Not everybody's going to be those individuals. You know, you just have to be really smart about how you do it and very choosy about how you do it when you give trust or respect trust. That's all I'm saying. You know, you just watch yourself. Watch yourself. It's a shame that the world has come to what it has, and people don't even see it. People just take it blindly. They're very nonchalant about that level of faith and dedication. And it is what it is, but you can only do so much. So, you know, I've trusted a lot of people over the years. I have. Blindly. Because I like to think the best in people. I do. I like to think the best. I love to give the benefit of the doubt. I do like to, potentially think that people can change, people can be better, people can learn to stop being so arrogant and ignorant. I'd like to give the benefit to people, and I'll extend that trust. I will extend that trust, that level of trust, and I will, go the distance. But when there's that betrayal, when there's that letdown, when there's that situation, it's really difficult to see beyond that and still be okay with it. It really is frustrating. It is really frustrating. Let's go, bud. Jesus, fucking drivers tonight. Um, yeah, yeah, it's one of those things. And recently, I've kind of put some pieces together. Unfortunately, again, fuck, I can't. It's sad when I can't count on one hand the people that I can actually trust, other than family. It is sad. It is so sad that people have no moral code, no honor, no nothing, that I could count on one hand the people that I could truly trust. It sucks. It really does. Because honestly, hell, if you do a check on me, if you try to vet me, wow, I am ironclad. Like, seriously, ironclad. I am 110%, if not more, safe, secure, trustworthy, proven, up and down the board with everything that you have you can throw at it. Like, I'm bondable up to millions of dollars. Like, let me tell you, my friends, like, I keep a clean slate. I do. Because, you got to be able to put out your value as a person. And you have to basically have a way to show the world that, you know what? You know what you're doing. You're trustworthy. You're a good person. You can through and through. You can be honestly trusted and everything else. You know. So that's the thing. That's the thing. You should really do a point of staying on the right side of things and being able to be trusted, and not just professionally, but also personally. Because there's nothing worse than lying through your teeth when you call somebody a friend and you just stab them in the back. You've betrayed their trust. You've given away intimate details. You've given away things that that somebody held in confidence to you. You know, like that's just how at the end of the day do you sleep okay? At the end of the day, I have no idea. I don't know how somebody could possibly do that. It completely baffles. And as I said recently, I've just discovered somebody else that screwed me over. Like, try for 1 second to think about it. How I feel. Try to have a little empathy on my side of things, right? And try to think about that for 1 second. From what I've shared with you, think about that for 1 second. It's a pretty shitty existence, right? Okay, now what I want you to do is do this. Answer honestly to yourself. Have you ever betrayed somebody? Can you be trusted? Have you always done the right thing? Now, beyond this whole image that some of you have of yourself, that you're high and mighty and your shit don't stink, honestly, look inwards and say, do I have a good moral code? Am I honorable? Do I have integrity? Have I always done the right thing? Am I a good person? Can you answer to yourself honestly about that and not bullshit yourself? Because that's what it comes down to. It's a slippery slope, but it's not an easy process to be able to inwardly look at yourself and completely give yourself a clean trust bill of health that says that yes, check, 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 check. I know honestly, I can say that. I can say that across the board. And maybe that's what my problem is. Because I'm too honest. I'm too honest. I'm too, putting stuff out there in the sense that, I don't bullshit people. I tell it as it is. I call the shots. I mean, it's the thing that in a world where a lot of people bullshit, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Being completely honest, having a sense of honor, having a code, having moral values. Maybe that's the problem, right? I know honestly I can inward look, professionally and personally. I can inward look and know that I'm good. Anyways, my final thoughts on this is this. Like everything else that I've shared over the courses of my podcast shows, there's always been consistency on a few things. And one thing has always been, I've always asked you, how's your integrity been today? How's your integrity today? It's important. Even as shitty as the world goes, you have to do the right thing. You have to have a level of integrity. Fine, don't believe in karma. Don't believe in goodness. Don't believe in whatever you don't want to believe in. But you're not making the world better. You're not helping the process. You're not helping things go in the right direction. If you wave it off like, oh, it's not going to get me anywhere, blah 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 blah, all this other bullshit. So when it comes down to it, you got to ask yourself, are you going to be the better person, or are you going to be the dickhead person? Are you going to be the honorable one, or are you going to be the scum? Like, are you going to be selfish, or are you going to be selfless? This is what it comes down to. This is what you pretty much have to put out there and say, okay, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I want to be the better person. I want to be a sense of honor. I want to have a good code. I want to have... What the hell is this, bud? Idiots. So many idiots. Sorry. Stupid drivers again. That's what it comes down to. How do you want to be remembered? How do you want people to view you? This is pretty much what you got to put out there. This is pretty much the whole skinny of it all. You know what? Do I want to see myself as a certain way? Do I want to be viewed as a certain way? Do I want to be, idiot? Do I want all that to be remembered in a positive light, including yourself? That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. First and foremost, though, don't betray somebody's trust. Just saying. Don't betray somebody's trust. Be the better person. Do the right thing. All that stuff. All right. That's it. That's all for today. That's my rant. Hey, keep your integrity in check. I'm your host, Matt Morgan. You've listened to another episode of Car Musings. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Love you for being here. And I will see you next episode. Ciao for now.